Social distortion, ball and chain. Alright, so pretty basic progression here. Got some fun soloing going on. What I'll do is I'll just play through the progression, all the solos. I'll just play right through that off the top. I'll go back through afterwards and give you a little more of a guided walkthrough and some of the details with it. Alright, and a special note right off top here. This song, if you're trying to play along with the recorded version, you're going to want to be a half step lower. So it would be like a D flat, A flat, G flat, D flat, if you're trying to match the exact key of the recorded version. I'm just going to show you a basic D, A, G, D progression here. Please help out the channel, hit that subscription button. I really appreciate it. And no further ado, alright, let's get on into it. Ball and chain. Okay, so like I said, basic progression here. We're just going to do a D chord for measure to the A, G, back to D. Alright, we're just going to play that over and over again. There's a little bit of a breakdown. I'll show you that afterwards, but just up to tempo, we have something like this. Alright, and as I mentioned, there's this break section. We just hold once we get to that G chord, we just hit it twice and we hold it. And there's a bit of a vocal intermission there. And essentially you could just look at this as like kind of the pre-solos. Alright, so basically the progression leading up to it at the end of the verse, it'd be something like this. Alright, now we can get into the solos here, and essentially the intro solo and the one in the middle are more or less the same. And they're basically just following along this D major scale going on here. So we get this kind of initial little riff that happens, and this happens just by itself at times throughout the song. Alright, kind of in that transition from that G chord to the D. Alright, and basically we're just going to do on the D string here, go 7-5, and then do 7-5 on the A. Alright, and we would hold that for a moment. And from there, we're going to kind of play around in that same section, go a couple 7s to 5A, back to 7. Slide that up to 9s. Hit a few of the 9s on the A. Slide it back down to 7s, hit some 7s. Alright, slide that back down to 5s. Alright, and we're going to hit a couple of those 5s, come up, hit a 7 on the E, then we go a 5-7 hammer on the A, and then just come back and hit a couple of those 5s on the A. Alright, so let's try this up to speed here. Okay, just continuing on in this D major scale here. We'll be here at the 7 on the A, a couple of those off to the 5, 7, back up to the 9A. Okay, we come down now, we hit some 7s on the D, and then we do a hammer on to the 9, come back off to some 7s on the D, and then hammer on 7 to 9 again. Okay, come down, hits a couple 7s on the G, then we do a 9D, back to a few 7s on the G, hammer that on to 9, back off to 7. Alright, from there, we do a couple 9s on the G, come off to 7, and back to 9, then up to 11. Okay, and now it'll be a little transition into the next section of it here. So let's just do this part up to speed. Alright, going even higher now. Okay, we just came off of our 9 to 11 on the G. Okay, now we'll get to these 10s on the B. Okay, a couple of those. Hit it with the 10B and the 11G. Hit a couple more of those 11Gs. Okay, take that 11 down to 9s on the G. Hit a few of those. Come back up to 11. Alright, and now we're going to come down and do this little riff here, and this will happen again towards the end of the songs. We're basically just going to fret some 10s on the B and E, and what you want to do here is just strum them and then hammer that 10B to 12B, and then just come back off, strum them again, come back up to hammer 10 to 12B, and it's just kind of a little repetitive thing that happens. Okay, we're just doing that, and you're going to want to get that down because you got to reel it off pretty quick here. Okay, that type of deal. All right, and we would just continue that on for a while. So this section now. All right, and just wrapping up the solo there. Okay, a couple 9s on the G, come off to 7. Come back to 9, up to 11, hit a couple of those 10s on the B, okay, we'll take that 11G, hit it, come back to 9, hit a few of those 9s, come down to 7G, hit a few of those 7s. Okay, and then we just bounce between 7G, 9D, 9G to 7G. Okay, let's do this to speed now. Okay, and like I said, we get to this very end solo here, the outro part, and basically it's just taking that that one riff in the middle and the intro solo there, where we're just hammering on 10s to 12B on the B and E here. All right, and the way it ends, it shifts a little more to like a minor pentatonic style, where we just bend the 12 on the G and hit 10s on the B and E under it. And we just kind of repeatedly do that. Hit that bend on the G at the 12, hit the 10s on the B and E, and just, you know. All right, and that finishes by just hitting the 12 on the G bent with the 10B under it. Okay, and while that's held and bent on the 12G, you come in, you hit the 13 on the B. Okay, and just hold that. Hold that for a moment, and then we finish all up with a little flourish scale here where we do 12 on the G, bend it, release it, come off to 10, give that a little bend, and then just finish on the 12 of the D. Thanks for checking out the video, everybody. Like it, share it, leave a comment. It's always good to hear from you. Do me a favor and hit the subscription button. I put out a video pretty frequent, so you don't want to miss out on that. Check out the links in the description box below. I have really cool links for tablature books, all the gear I use, t-shirts, fun stuff like that. So thank you very much, and we'll see you next time.